Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. Well, we're back with our weekly crypto news with Jason stepping in for Michael today. So Jason's one of our researchers who's across the Sol ecosystem, Web3, farming and airdrop focus. So welcome back to the show, Jace.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, good to be back.
There's so much happening, so I'm going to jump straight into it here and share my screen so you can see all these tabs that I've got open as well. But there's just so much good news happening on the geopolitical level and institutional adoption, which is what we've been wanting to see. So Eric Trump going on this ramp about how Bitcoin and crypto will replace the current financial system was amazing to see. Bitcoin on exchanges has just hit a 5-year low, while we've got all these big institutions at all different levels, public and private, looking to acquire Bitcoin. So this is the perfect recipe for this super cycle to continue for the rest of this year.
For sure.
North Carolina Senate passing their bill for a strategic reserve. Arizona making history, first state to launch Bitcoin strategic reserve, pledging 10% of public funds. That's awesome to see as well.
And heaps of other states aren't far behind them.
That's it. Once one goes, they're all going to want to follow, aren't they? So Morgan Stanley, huge asset manager, offering Bitcoin and crypto trading to their E-Trade clients. Klaus Schwab, even bigger again, 7 trillion of assets to launch spot crypto trading, which is really important. This isn't, futures or anything. This is spot trading to buy real crypto, which is always what we want to see. City of Roswell, New Mexico, strategic Bitcoin reserves. As the world keeps getting more weird and wonderful, these things are popping up, which is great to see. And then obviously Stacks, which I've been so bullish on for a few years now as the leading Bitcoin layer 2. They're partnering up with SUI to integrate their Stacks Bitcoin, a more programmable version of Bitcoin, onto the SUI network, which has become another leading layer 1 up there with Sol. We got the withdrawals are now live for Stacks Bitcoin. So we had the deposits open and they had that 3,000 cap, but now you can withdraw as well as deposit in and out of Stacks layer 2 back to base layer Bitcoin, which is exciting.
Yeah, that'll increase the volume.
Yeah.
You'd expect.
We've got Stacks Asia. I've been talking about how Stacks is really looking to develop their presence in Asia, the Middle East, all that type of thing. And here we go with another big announcement, partnering with Abu Dhabi Global Market to support adoption there. And if you don't know, guys, this is a world premier international finance center for the capital of the UAE. So this is all really big news. And then with all the Stacks price recovering and all the Stacks ecosystems, my favorite meme coin, Flat Earth, but really all the Stacks ecosystem projects have been starting to recover really well, which is what we want to see. So any thoughts on that before we get into all the stuff you've got for us?
It was nice to see Stacks sort of outperforming the market a week or two ago.
Yeah,
that was really cool to see sort of the fundamentals catching up to a bit of price there. So no, that's great. Definitely bullish Stacks. I'll share my screen now.
I think you've got even more Bitcoin adoption news, and the chart's looking good. We've had 4 months of bleeding out, and it just feels like we're setting up for a good end to this year. If you want to share your screen and get into it all.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely feel underweight Bitcoin. Okay. How do I
get rid of me? Then that first tab and we're all
cool,
good to go. Perfect.
But the ETFs have started to accumulate heavily recently again, which has been awesome. Obviously, we've had a tough period for the last couple months, but it looks like we're back on, and I'm pretty certain we've had our local bottom. I don't see us making new lows just because of all these fundamentals that we're talking about. But you can just see the corporations are significantly increasing their holdings. So 18% up is in Q1. That's pretty big numbers.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, Charles Schwab, you've also got Nvidia. So these guys have obviously huge cash balances, and if they can start doing anything micro strategy or just even a small percentage, then another huge player is going to be getting into the market. This is I think more and more companies are going to start doing this, sort of following Michael Saylor's footsteps a bit. But this this firm here is just about to chuck another 250. And then, yeah, if you don't follow Dax, one of our team members, he pumps out heaps of good content. This particular post here is pretty cool. Just like if this is actually what's happening, then this is what we've been talking about for years and years and years. Just countries printing fiat out of thin air to just chase like a fiat, to chase a finite asset. It would just be absolutely incredible if that actually starts happening.
And starting to happen not just with Bitcoin, we're starting to see with like rare earth metals and tension between China. And this is something I spoke about years ago, that people are going to wake up to America's printing money out of thin air and taking advantage of the rest of the world for real resources. So yeah, great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the US dollars had such an advantage just printing money and buying actual things. So I think the rest of the world's going to start catching up and start buying Bitcoin themselves, just to level the playing field a bit. And as you said, those rare earth metals and stuff like that. And obviously because of all those things that we just mentioned, the whales are just increasing exponentially. So this is not a time to be selling your Bitcoin to the whales. This is a time for us retailers just to be accumulating as fast as we can, I think.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like quite underweight Bitcoin, even though like it's a big chunk of my portfolio. I feel like I need to get some more. So onto the Solana news. So the ETF for 2025 is looking pretty likely. We've got an 80% chance here that that's going to happen. And there's a lot of applications for this. Like there's about 5 to 10 different guys that all have applied.
Yeah.
This Sol Strategies company is pretty cool. So they've just done a 500 mil convertible note with ATW partners, and basically they're just going to be buying Solana and then staking it in their own validator. So that's that's $500 million by pressure, and just a cool thing to do. Like it's sort of like a micro strategy style thing, but just dedicated to Solana.
Absolutely, yeah.
Over here you can see this is a pretty cool stat I saw. So staking market cap. So Sol's just knocking on the door of ETH there of the staking market cap. Quite a high percentage ratio of Solana is actually staked. So yeah, that's why I'm so bullish on it. Another reason, just because it's all locked up. So I think there's less supply, obviously. Another few cool stats on Solana. So it's climbed to the second in social dominance. I'm on L1s over Ethereum recently. So that's the same thing there. So social mentions also sort of getting above Sol. New users, so these pink ones here on dBridge. dBridge is doing the most bridging volume in crypto, and it's a Solana bridge, a Solana-based project, but they do cross many bridges. But this is just a chart here showing all the new users in crypto, and you can see the pink ones are the Solana ones sort of dominating there.
Yeah.
And even though the meme coin sort of craze completely died off and Sol had a big drop, it's actually recovered quite a lot from the bottom, and the meme coins are still there, but they're not as prominent in the Solana ecosystem as they were, which I think is more healthy. So Phantom here, a great wallet on Solana, they're doing swaps where you don't need gas. So you're never going to be stuck with like a token in a wallet with no gas to swap it, which is kind of cool because like I'm sure we've all been in that situation before, and then you have to go to an exchange or sort of commingle wallets, funds, and stuff like that. So that's just a nice little feature.
Nice. Yep.
This is pretty cool. So Helium, the ticker's HNT, I believe. They have just announced that the AT&T, so that's the biggest cell provider in America, can now connect to the People's Powered Helium network across America. So pretty cool, like real world sort of solutions coming here and potentially onboarding more and more people into crypto. The Solana Seeker phone has actually sold 150,000 devices, which is pretty awesome, and which which is a good indication that a lot of apps are going to be wanting to get on there, and they're probably going to reward the buyers of that phone with airdrops and stuff like that. This is the current airdrops that phone is has got already, and so it's not a huge amount here, but I believe that it's going to get more and more, and by the time the phone actually comes out, or in the future after you get the phone, I think it'll pay for itself at least. So that's why I've personally ordered one.
And just on the phones, I think even that helium news as well is starting to see that real world adoption, which is what we've always kind of been heading towards. And so people are waking up to just the sandbox that is, the App Store and Google and all these big tech companies. And so the fact that we're starting to see, these crypto branded phones that are going to come loaded with their own apps and connect directly to blockchain networks and seamless onboarding, all this type of thing. This is what we haven't had in previous cycles. So this is super exciting to see this all finally coming together.
Yeah, definitely. So the real world adoption plus the institutions and now like sovereign nations, it's really looking good for crypto. This Play Solana is a cool sort of retro Game Boy style gaming device. So I've bought one of these, and once again, I believe that the airdrops will be worth more than the device. And I'm just a crypto native, so I want to have a bit of a play on this, even though I'm not much of a gamer. Maybe my kids will have a play, but all the blockchain games will be play-to-earn games on here. But if you're not interested in buying that device, but you sort of want to still qualify for this airdrop, or do both, there's a few things you can do here. So you can these NFTs are linked to that gaming device. So I think a good play is just to buy some of these now and then sell them in the future just before that device actually comes out, because obviously there's a limited supply, and I think as it gets more and more popular, the price of these NFTs are just going to go up. So I've got a couple there, and I've traded a couple already. And then you can come along to this page here, and you can just do these daily quests where you don't have to buy the device to get some of these points. So you can just do some of these quests, like their Twitter ones. You can refer people. You can just stake SOL with their validator. That's the most simple one. So if you've got some Solana and you want to stake it with a validator, just come and stake with the Play Solana validator. You get some points. You'll qualify for this Play airdrop.
Nice.
These guys don't have a point system. So the airdrops that are the best to hunt are the ones that don't have a point system. So if you've got some of any of these tokens that aren't doing anything, or maybe they're in other lending protocols with similar yields, move them over to DeFi Tuner, because you'll end up getting that airdrop. And there's also a really cool trading feature here where you can where you can muck around with different pools, and you can make it go like full long or semi short, and you can muck around with the way the pool is. It's pretty high level.
Nice. Almost looks like an options trading platform there, with the way you can tweak it around price and yields and stuff.
Yeah. This is another one that's going to do an airdrop. They've got a point system, so it's not as early as DeFi Tuner. But yeah, so you can see I'm lending some USDC there at the moment. The yields have gone down a bit, but 25% on USDC is still a fantastic yield. Plus, you're getting these points, and you sometimes get the odd NFT default, and so not bad earnings there if mucking around with this for a couple of months. Yeah.
Awesome.
If you're on the Cosmos ecosystem, you can go and claim them, and you have staked like TIA with the Milky Way protocol, which is their like liquid staking. You can go and claim your milk. I just saw this today, so I can go and claim that amount there. It's not a huge airdrop, but it all adds up. So if anyone's done that, you can go claim your airdrop.
Nice.
This is another airdrop I claimed a couple of days ago. So this is the Hadel airdrop. This is onto the SUI ecosystem. There's a bunch of airdrops there, and that's probably where I'm focusing more of my time now, airdrop hunting. This is a very easy one. It's basically just an LST. So if you had staked any SUI with these guys, you'd have the airdrop there.
Yep.
And then these are all the LSTs now. So straight away, I just move my SUI out of Hadel. I put it into, I'm pretty much in most of these. So I'll just move my SUI out of Hadel, put it into one of the other ones. And most of these LSTs will probably do an airdrop. So if you've got SUI, you might as well be staking it. If you are staking it, you might as well, get into one of these ones that haven't got a token yet.
Yeah.
So these are the airdrops in SUI, other than those staking protocols that I'm going to be getting onto in the near future and posting about in the group.
Fantastic.
And I was just having a look at the markets here. So the AI agents seem to be having a bit of a, this is the last month, AI agents and memes have been having a bit of a resurgence recently. And so I think that's a pretty strong narrative to get onto if you're looking for a bit of a like a momentum trade or a narrative trade. Virtual is one of the big AI plays, so that's done really well. Griffane, the one that I spoke about last time, hasn't actually performed very well at all. So Virtual seems like it's sort of taken the lead there.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, if you look at top 100 over the year, good old Fightcoin here is the name's so crap. I think that sort of almost is beneficial for it.
Pardon the pun. Yeah.
It's just this is crypto, so I do, and it's got massive social engagement stuff. I've been trading this, and I think you can't sort of overlook it if you just want to, if you want to take a bit of a trade, because it's almost performing the best in crypto at the moment.
That tends to be the history of meme coins. Like that's why I kind of like flat Earth on stacks. It's just like the crazier, the better, the more culty, the weirder, the better. These things tend to stand out now that there's so many copycat dog and cat coins and that kind of thing that have been around for a while now.
Yeah, and this one, Filecoin, is sort of a hybrid between a meme coin and an AI coin. I don't know how much AI like they actually do, but they on CoinMarketCap, they sort of listed in the AI section, and they do have a website where they've gotten a few like AIs to talk to each other, and it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
You can go have a look at their website. It actually is pretty interesting. So I think it's sort of like just that really left curve, like low IQ, easy play.
Yeah.
So over here with the chart, it really looks like Bitcoin just wants to push up to that next level there. Sort of that's the daily bull flag. It's just broken out of. These are a few little trades I'm looking at. That's just about to close as a really bullish Morningstar reversal. I'm not in this yet, but when that closes, I'll trade that up to the top there. So, and this is another 4-hour little bull flag within that macro one daily bull flag. In terms of Solana, it really did get crushed after the Trump and meme sort of mania, but it has bounced really, really nicely off the bottom. It's up sort of 50%, and I think it's just going to continue to outperform.
And congrats to Philip as well, who's head of data and strategy. He posted that he was going back all in with the 60% he had on the sidelines when it was still low 100s there. He absolutely nailed redeploying into ETH, Sol and SUI, I think. So yeah, go Philip and all the members that are following him. I hope they nailed that one too.
Yeah, that was an absolutely awesome call. I think between him and Kyle's TA, that's why I got in at this point here. This red box here is a monthly order block, but also on those two guys' information, that's sort of prompted me to jump back into Sol.
Yeah.
In terms of a trade, not my long-term holdings. And ETH over here is, I think, once it reclaims this level here, which it's a really strong level, and it's also the 61.8. Once it gets above there, retests and holds, it's going to be an easy trade up to the top here. So that's a trade there that I'll take when ETH reclaims that level. I think it's pretty easy, that one.
Fantastic, man.
That's about it. I'll just stop sharing here.
Cool. Fantastic, mate. I love all that. Thanks for throwing in a few trades there as well at the end.
No worries.
Any final thoughts, mate? We've whipped through all that pretty quickly, which was awesome.
I mean, I think we're in for a good time for the rest of the year. I think we've had our really severe, 30% pullbacks. There's been two painful periods. The most recent one was the worst. There's probably going to be another one before the end of the year, but I mean, that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be. I mean, I think it's going to be a really bullish into next year, and hopefully super cycle bullish all the way through next year.
Let's hope we do see that extended cycle. Well, mate, thanks so much for all that, guys. Head over to the website for our free newsletter, all our premium research, and our VIP services with the VIP monthly call first Tuesday of the month. So I'll see you then, Jason. But thanks so much for that, mate. I'll have you back on again in future.
No worries, mate. Take it easy.
Cheers, guys.